Okay. All right, good afternoon, everyone again. This is Tomomitsu Harada from Mimaki, Australia. I am now in webinar regards to the product comparison between Mimaki and our competitive brand for 4 different market segments. The first one starts our lowest end product, which is a desktop cutter. Second one is regards to standalone cutter. So cutters are on the the stand. So comparing to the other brand as well. The third one is the the entry model of the 75 centimeters print and cut technology print and cut comparison for the sticker and embroidery market. I mean heat transfer market. And the lowest range of the 1.6 meter size, the printers comparisons. So to begin with, desktop cutter. As a national brand comparison, we have mainly 4 different suppliers, 4 different manufacturers supplying in the Australian market. Starting with us, Mimaki, and second, Roland, and Graphtec, and Summa. So the Mimaki, Roland, and Graphtec are all from Japanese, Japanese maker, and some of the equipment is is produced in a foreign country. The Summa is a European brand. So looking at the price range, we've got all obsolete model CG60SR3 and the newest model, which is available since June, which is CG60AR series. So as a price point, Mimaki is keeping the lowest in the market. So comparing to the other brand, we have at least $200 of the difference, which is 10% of the difference, which is high for the customer because customer can basically save the cost of the freight for $200. So basically, we have the similar technology, but you can basically save the freight cost from from Mimaki warehouse to a customer's destination. As a warranty part, we always offer the cutting product 2 years parts warranty for the customer, which is one of the biggest benefit for end users as well. So one of the important part is what software is included. And this is the biggest benefit of the Mimaki CG60AR. So CG60AR has the 3 different options for running for software. Depends on how you want to run. Starting with Adobe Illustrator plugin. So most of the existing sign writers or sign display customers in the market, might already have an Adobe Illustrator or Corel for graphic design. So having a plugin is really important. So all 4 supplier in the market, the machine comes with the some type of the plugin software. The second benefit is the if standalone design and cut software comes with. If customer is new in the market and customer does not know what Adobe Illustrator and Corel Draws are, and would like to start from somewhere without buying these expensive design software. So some of the product, as well as Mimaki, comes with the standalone design software, which is simple cut with an obsolete machine and simple pop as the Mimaki new AR model. So customer can install in Windows and they can start drawing the line, also cutting. The more easier the output. If customer doesn't even know how to draw the line in standalone software, no worries. How Mimaki supports is the cut from Microsoft Word, Excel, or other Windows application. So you can download the Mimaki driver softwares for the Windows Proto driver to plug and play for the any Windows version, from 10 to 11. And you can just the plug computer to cutting plotter to start cutting, some kind of the shape from Microsoft Word and Excel. So this benefit only happens either Mimaki or GraphTech. The connection available we support is both USB and Ethernet. So how it works is that if you just want to use as a desktop cutter, you can just plug an USB to be easier. However, when you output when you set up a cutting facility in the factory, you should need some type of the long distance and network capability for output. That's the reason we support Ethernet Ethernet communication as well. And that's our second biggest benefit comparing to the one of our competitor in the market. Here's one thing we need to always tell the customer. None of Mimaki equipment comes as a USB cable. So before you purchase or before you wait for the machine's arrival, you need to click and buy for the $5 USB cable from anywhere in the market. USB cable is not expensive today, so you just you just get whatever the reliable price and distance from e-commerce, the market e-commerce website. The max cut pressure, except for Summa, the Mimaki CG60AR is the biggest, the highest, the gram pressure comparing to other two Japanese brands. Also, the speed of their cutting. So this 550 grams of the downforce pressure will allow you to widen the application. So you can stick cut letters and heat transfer with most of cutting plotter with no problem. However, if you start talking about the reflective signage, currently reflective signage, you might need to get the some small flatbed plotter, or sometimes you need to invest for the more industrial level of the cutting plotter. However, by supporting more than 500 grams of the downforce, you can enter into the reflective signage market for mostly the traffic signage or the reflective sticker part for the bus wrapping, such and such. The accuracy length is also what's important to talk about and comparing for tracking accuracy with other brand. So tracking accuracy, how it's important is because sometimes you work for the cut letters that work for the 5 meters long vehicle wrapping or bus wrapping. So that way, well, sometimes people don't care about the 2 centimeters or 3 centimeters of the the length of the offset. However, sometimes customer is really sensitive for this. The Summa, which is a European brand, has got the maximum tracking accuracy, which they support up to 8 meters of the cut for up to 60 centimeters wide media feeding. However, within the Japanese brands, Mimaki has got the highest accuracy, which is 2 meters of the the distance. Not only that, but also if you get into the operator's adjustment menu, this length is adjustable. So once you find out, when cutting generic vinyl, you got the 5 millimeters of the the discrepancy, the difference on a 2 meters cut. You can tell what's the discrepancy you've got, and you can really minimize the distance offset from the second job. So this is what we have in the not only accuracy, but also adjustment capability we have in the machine. The tool we support is 3 tools, simply the pen and the cutter, and new CGSR AR series does support creasing tool as well. So not only a flatbed cutting plotter does the creasing, but we now have the 60 centimeters desktop cutter does support creasing, which none of others does it. All right. The reason of the creasing tool is because the capability of the packaging solution. So the additional application capability, the Mimaki CG60AR does support a paper craft application, which involving print and cut workflow. So as Mimaki's, the most of a cutting plotter does support the crop mark detection. So you can do the paper craft print and cut application without any problem. Also the packaging, we have, the support up to 1 millimeters of the, the thick, the cardboard cutting with a CG60AR. So in order to do a paper craft packaging, you will need to get an additional optional items, which is a seat table. The seat table is a plastic seat guide which goes on the back side and front side of the printer to be able to feed forward the flatbed sheet, the flat sheet. Also, in order to support die cut, because die cut, you need to have a kind of a liner film to do the the die cut for a roll fed cutting plotter. So we've got a cutting sheet as a 2 sheet comes in $111 as a consumable, and you can basically put up to A3 size of the packaging sheet top of the support cutting sheet, which is a consumable part, in order to do a die cut without any offset. The third one, we have a creasing tool in order to do the the creasing part of the paper craft and packaging application. So lastly, we've got an optional heavy-duty paper blade. So if you are cutting not only vinyl or the heat transfer sheet, but also the thick material for the packaging, you need to buy this, the exclusive blade for heavy-duty cutting. So having those 4 optional or consumable items, you now can expand the capability of CG60AR into a packaging and a paper craft application. Just getting back to the what's the support environment we have for with a CG60AR. All right. For Windows, you can use both USB and Ethernet because we support the USB Mimaki driver from website. So you have a capability to send a cutting job through Fine Cut of Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW, Simple Pop, which is our our standalone cutting software and design software, and the Windows Plotter driver as well. When you output from Mac OS, since Mimaki does not support a USB driver for Mac OS, it not exist. So you can only get the Ethernet to connect from Mac OS directly to CG60AR. And Fine Cut 9 does support the Mac OS version of Adobe Illustrator and CorelDRAW. So just remember what's the difference of the the method to output a cut between Windows and Mac OS. All right, next, regards to standalone cutter. The standalone cutter has got the the more range of the product comparing to desktop. However, the majority of the supplier is the same: Mimaki, Roland, Graphtec, and Summa as a international brand. The Mimaki has the clearly 2 different range, which is a CG130AR model and the CG160FX Plus model, which is high-end and low-end of AR. Whereas the Graphtec has got very close price range between 2 models and the Summa as well. So we have clearly, if customer is looking for more entry, the CG130AR is a machine to go. And if you are looking at the more production as the the not a market entry but a market existing for a few years, the CGFX2 Plus is more production machine to go. The warranty comparison, we always offer 2 years warranty for cutting plotter, And only a GraphTech is other one who supports more than 2 years warranty. As a software capability, everyone has got a plugin software for Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW. For standalone software, the Mimaki supports simple pop comes with CG130AR. However, nothing comes with a CG160FX2 Plus because it's simply focusing onto their graphic, standard software of Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW. However, the GraphTech and Summa, they also support, the standalone design and cut software because this is really their core product in their business. And this is how they invest for their own software for design and cutting. And the Windows output capability with a CG AR model and one of a GraphTech model. The connection beside Mimaki CGFX2 Plus, everyone supports their USB and Ethernet option. The maximum cut pressure, we used to be the number one pressure, number one highest pressure of the CG130AR over 550 grams and 500 grams from a CG160FX. However, these days, the competitors has become 600 grams of a capability with with the standalone cutters. Max cutting speed, all right? The difference between max cut speed and max moving speed. The max cut speed is, the moving speed when the cutter blade is touching to the media. And the Mimaki CG160FX, has been in the highest range of the, this speed for currently more than 20 years. So since the start of a CGFX series in 2002, we had been keeping 100 centimeters per second of the, the cutter down speed in the market. So you can see the, the max moving speed from our competitors as well. But please note that those numbers are only the moving speed when the blade is up, and the speed of the cutting when the blade is down significantly gets lower than the what is shown in the what's in the spec. The accuracy lengths, the Mimaki and GraphTech are known as the highest accuracy of their lengths, the tracking accuracy in the industry. If you go to Summa product that has their different number, whether they cut less than 60 meters or more than 60 centimeters of their media size. When they cut less than 60 centimeters side, as I showed in the desktop cutter range, you had 8 meters of the tracking accuracy. However, when the media size gets more, the accuracy length normally decreases. However, Mimaki and GraphTech, it guarantees accuracy with a maximum cutting size of the media, which is close to 1600 millimeters. All right, when people invest the maximum, when people is investing the standalone cutting plotter, it is important having the wider number of the max seed load size, which is the size of the load media to be able to set. Even the cutting size is much less than that. All right. How important it is because the people who is investing this, this product normally does their vehicle wrapping. The people who does their vehicle wrapping also expecting to do the paint protection film contour cutting in order to fit into the their vehicle for protecting the paint. So the market standard paint protection film comes in the size, the widest size, and the cheapest square meter size film comes with more than 1800 millimeters. So it is important that the roll media of the maximum size of the paint protection film is to be able to set on the plotter. Doesn't matter if it doesn't cut that size. So only the international brand cutting plotter, which supports more than 1800 millimeters of the media size of their loading, is either Mimaki CGFX2 Plus or the Graphtec FC9000 series. So if you go to the vehicle wrapping people who knows what they are doing. I'm not saying everyone, but who knows what they are doing. They invest either Mimaki CG160FX Plus or the Graphtec FC9000. I can guarantee you. Max cutting length, it is important to support the up to 1620 millimeters in case the machine is 160 centimeters, right? Mimaki does, but other, sometimes Graphtec and Summa doesn't. So they are, the slightly less than 1600 millimeters. So that means the industrial standard or industry standards are, the vinyl is 1620 millimeters. So they at least need to have a 20 millimeters of the margin for cutting. But just looking at the difference, well, you can look at the environment difference comparing to Mimaki printer. Well, you are the service technician, so you're supposed to know that you're supposed to be able to gather those information quickly from website. So I'm not explaining this for this page. For the different application, what Mimaki provides is the capability of the pen and cutter, of course. Also cutting the creasing tool for AR series, which is the same as desktop plotters. Here is one of the important things. If a media holding vacuum, the media supporting vacuum is existing on the machine. So of course Mimaki does, however Roland doesn't. So this Roland new GR2640 does not have a vacuum, the vacuum system inside the plotter. Hence the reason the tracking accuracy comparing to a previous GR model, it's much less because there's no the holding function for the vacuum. The sheet cutter, Mimaki CG160 FX2 Plus is second to none. It is really famous for automatic sheet cutting, the sheet cutting capability. Regards to barcode cut, the both recent Mimaki machine does support an ID cut. So what it does is having a Mimaki printer who does the ID printing function. You can do seamlessly print and cut by only detecting a barcode, which is printed by the Mimaki printer. So you can get the really ultimate the print and cut solution by having one of the Mimaki printer and cutting plotter. The Summa also does support the barcode cut. However, you need to invest the additional software in order to do a barcode, which the one of Caldera software does. The lowest price package of a Caldera is around $2,500. For just a limited product of the Summa and the printer manufacturer combination is supported. So you will need to invest the additional software to purchase to do barcode cut. For difference of the application, reflective signs can be supported both Mimaki printer. And another thing, as long as the cutting plotter does have the vacuuming system, also does support more than 500 grams of the downforce, it does the the reflective signage. For paper craft, it's only Mimaki 130AL and Graphtec. The lastly, I just want to show you the this is provided in the sales the document through the sales documents through the the sales people. The difference of the the cutting quality. So when we are trying to compete against the property and the features of the Mimaki cutting plotter and mainly Roland and GraphTech plotter, we compare the cutting quality for the round shape, for how you call diagonal shape for the 45 degrees angle crosscut, polygon cut, and radiation cut in order to compare the cutting quality. What Mimaki has as the one deviation reason is when you start cutting. Okay, when you start cutting the round shape as the beginning of the job, this is only the time that you will expect the little bit, the deviation for the start position and the finishing position. Okay, but it's not going to happen for the, from a second object. All right, so looking at the other four, the beginning point and finishing point of the round, there's no gap or there's no like, tab is left over. So this is how good the Mimaki is. So there are a few customers who is just cutting the small circle or rectangle in the beginning of the job, which, who already know that the Mimaki does this, for the just a mechanical limitation. But most of the customer who doesn't really care about this much of the offset. But if you look at the other two brands, you can see the the repeatable gap for this product. I'm not saying what's the product it is, but see there's a repeatable gaps happening for round shape cutting. And when you do the radiation cut for this product, you can see like each short straight line doesn't become really straight and it becomes wavy. Right? This is because this product does not have a vacuum system for the seed holding. If you get to the, the other brand, all right, for example, you can see the large deviation when you're cutting the round shape. Even printing a 45 degrees angle diagonal for continuously, the every corner of the diagonal is actually leaving a tab. So you kind of need to pull the vinyl in order to read. When it does the polygon, which is even less than 90 degrees of the angle corner, more than 90 degrees of angle corner, it becomes rounded shape for the corner. So such and such. So just giving you idea of the how good the Mimaki is for the cutting quality for industry. Okay, let me go another 10 minutes for the comparison of the print and cut and the printer side. The price is showing is only RRP recommended retail price between across the the all suppliers the based on the their the Mimaki's price list, also the competitors price list or competitors the authorized resellers price list or internet pricing. For this is a product less than 75 centimeters wide, entry range print and cut product comparison sheet. So those are the main four players of the main four the product in this industry. The Mimaki has one. So our competitor has two close to identical, which is the obsolete, and one is a new release this year. And this is the one that's famous for entry machine. This is a 50 centimeters print and cut desktop with the eco solvent. If you're looking at the the pricing, of course, what's in a desktop is the very less expensive pricing. However, Mimaki does supply the one price for 1 year warranty, which is really getting beating the market with other two products. Also, we have 5-year total support. The difference between total support and just a warranty, which is provided by our competitors, is total support that does support not only parts but also their service for 5 years. So within this price difference of the close to, or almost $9,000 and $9.5 of the price difference. It supports the, it has the support plan for over the 5 years of the printer life, which, we usually say. So which is including parts, of course, including a print head, except for, the customer's failure, like a media jam or lightning, earthquake, such and such for, the disaster from God. But other than that, if machine within the, normal, standard operation, if a print head fail, we support for 5 years without no stress for the customer. And the service and call out fee, during within the metro is also supported. Not only that, but the most of Mimaki's entry pricing of the entry price products does come with the one set of the ink. The one set of the ink, how much it was? It's a 3.5 liters of the ink. All right, it comes with a 440cc cartridge times 8. Right. The other brand, they always spread the price for, the machine and ink as well. Sometimes there's a deal that's the, these resellers, authorized resellers, just including ink into the pricing and so on. But Mimaki always have a ballpark pricing, how much customer needs to pay in just one shot to get the machine and installed. Lip software is normally included for, all the brands. Software which is included. Mimaki does have their two different software for either the cutting software, which is Fine Cut 9, and Rasterlink 6 Plus, which is a print and cut software. So while other brand comes with only one lip software and no plugin software is supported, because we care about a customer who only does the cut letter cuts, the computer cuts application with our print and cut machine, so they can just design Adobe Illustrator and output a cutting from Fine Cut. Also, you can do one touch, creation of the the control cut line in three clicks before opening the file in Rasterlink 6 Plus. So in case of other competitors, you need to do 10 to 15 clicks in order to generate the cut layer for print and cut file. But Mimaki becomes much easier and seamless to do. For connection supported, Mimaki support only USB for CJB 150/75. So you just need to worry about the limitation of their distance. Inkset which is supported, besides CMYK only from other brand, we support 3 different inksets. CMYK, which is same as the other brand. We also have the the CMYK plus light cyan, light magenta, light black, and orange. If you are doing a corporate color like a McDonald's, the McDonald's Iron T-shirts or the other brand like a Coca-Cola, those people are Office Depot. Office Depot is in United States. Office Works for red and blue printing. In order to achieve those similar color of those, you must have the 8 colors ink set. For the T-shirts heat transfer printing, besides using just a color film of heat transfer vinyl. So 90% of our customer of 75 series, that's installed with orange and light black. You can do white and silver as optional. So when you put silver and white, you need to sacrifice the channel of the light cyan, light magenta, or light black and orange. So that means you can still get CMYK, light black and orange 6 colors, even when putting white and silver, which gives you still a capability to print the corporate color design. Ink price, Mimaki ink price is always not as significant, but some type of the difference comparing to our competitors. All right, we support 2 different ink sets. SS21 ink types, SS21 BS4. SS21 is known as our premium ink, which out of the durability is close to 2 to 3 years with laminate, or at least 1 year without laminate. Also, we support, well, not support, but we prove that the up to 50 times of a laundry washing and color won't fade from t-shirts when you use SS21 ink. So we are offering $140 for 440 cc, which is approximately the 10 to 20% less expensive than the those competitive standalone series, and the not really comparable with the those small series. Also, BS4 ink does support less than $100 per pack. So if you just want buy the printer and get return investment of the within 1 month, BS4 ink is the way to go because it's only 4 colors, but it gives you, it provides 4.8 liters of the ink comes with, when you buy the printer. So it's already worth for the 6 months running of the ink for this machine. And you can get the, already enough return of investment to pay off the machine. Heater system. Everyone says, well, not everyone, many people say BN20 is a good machine because of entries and so on. However, please be mindful that this machine does not have the print heater. So that means you need to run at least 30 or 40 paths for printing. So, within 2 hours, you can get maximum 2 prints of the t-shirts within 2 hours. So, you can quickly find out how slow the return of investment is. However, Mimaki's printer is doing 6 times speed of the BN20 and twice more speed than the the other printer from Roland. What's more important for technically is maximum sheet size. Comparing to other 30 inches size, which is supporting 760 millimeters, the Mimaki 75 does support 810 millimeter. Okay, there is not almost no material which standard 800 millimeters. However, how important this is because just to remember, please remember that what's the industry standard media size for science and graphics? It's either 1370 or 1620. 1620, if you ask a supplier of 1620 millimeters to divide for half, it comes in as the 810 millimeter. So if you say, hey, I'm looking for the the less waste of the production, you can just call one vinyl supplier. Hey, please treat the 1620 millimeters of vinyl. It comes as the 810. Right? If you've got this, the printer, the problem is that if you ask the 1370 millimeters to divide for half, of course it will fit. However, the per square meters cost becomes more expensive than the 1620 millimeters. However, 1620 millimeters divided by 2 will not fit into those printer. So again, this is how important it is to support 810 millimeters. It's not super important. However, it is a way to explain to a customer, hey, how we can do this and that applications. The Mimaki is good because we support automatic nozzle check, NCU, the nozzle check unit as a standard from this range product, which is second to none in the market. We also support, cut after printing. So cut after printing, that is to avoid heat transfer vinyl to shrink after printing. So you can cut first, then print. So that way you can, avoid the, the bleeding of the cut after printing the heat transfer vinyl. The type of the application, I'm not putting too much because these are, these machines purely designed for doing 3 things on one machine: sticker and cut letters and heat transfer. Okay, and everyone can do these jobs. Well, lastly for today, I'd like to quickly explain the difference between those 5 products over the 4 different, manufacturer, from Mimaki, who makes the, entry range printer up to 160 centimeters comparisons. We've got 2 printer from Mimaki. One is JB100 and for print only, and the other one is CJB150 print and cut entry. We've got 1 machine from Roland, which is newly released in this year. The one from Muto, which is the released this year as well. And the Epson, the SCS4600, which is the about 4 years old product. The pricing, well, Epson has got the best pricing regardless of what machine can do and can't. So again, we cannot compete with this pricing. However, from our market research, Epson's SC4600 coming, the average of maximum 2 per month in our market. So it is not really the bigger sales of the product. Mimaki always supports their 1-year warranty pricing if customers trust too much for their machine's capability for the 12 months and it's reliable for 5 years. They can invest with their less pricing, which is around $20,000. Or optional 5 years warranty option is always available for any of a Mimaki printer. This is another importance, what the ink is included. Mimaki always include lots of ink into the pricing for the installation. Because we care about customer, the customer don't need to pick up, hey, machine installation ink, click, click, click to order. But we have a ballparking pricing for the, everything is included for installation. So 4.8 liters worth the ink. It is approximately, 8 rolls of a vinyl or banner for 50 meters of a roll. So it is good for already 8 rolls, which is probably 2 months of the the production. The software which comes with it's slightly different between Mimaki JB100 and CJB150. The JB100 is a print-only machine. So it comes with only a print software, which is Rastering tool, which is downloadable from a Mimaki website, and Rastering 7, which is for print software. The CJB150 is print and cut, so it comes with fine cut 9 as well. The other product does not come with any plugin software. So when you do the cut line for print and cut or print then cut, you need to utilize the RIP software for transferring a design and make a cut line and such, or use the different software from cutting manufacturer. The other difference is a maximum roll weight. The Mimaki does have always the the maximum the weight capability of the the roll weight. So it's up to 45 kilograms, which is equivalent to Epson SCS4600. Print speed. So Mimaki is the one, the first equipment, which is JB100, which achieved production speed of 20 square meters an hour. So our market research, there is no other manufacturers achieved $20,000, around $20,000 of the entry equipment for supporting up to 20 square meters an hour of their production. And when I tested the 4-color production, CMYK production 20 square meters per hour, it is not super quality because it's a production speed. However, it is really good balance of the the production as well as the minimum 3 meters of the viewing distance of signage. So it works for bus wrapping, car wrapping as well. It works for the rotary display for the bus stop and such easily. All right, that's basically it for what I would like to talk. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna stop recording now, and